Us band of droogs, hugging, mugging and me, was fast with treetop cracking and had a shine for some bolshy ultraviolence or the old in-out, in-out. So we found a dead ewe and peated some sladky maloko from its still warm grudies, then flew, argy-bargy, wingtip clopping wingtip to town. Muggin had himself banned from Weatherspoons, his gloopy litso plastered all over public posters for sticking his yazzik down the rot of some pretty devotchka who wasn't so pie-and-itzered that she didn't know a crow when she vidded one. So we made our way to Burgess Bar for a few fire golds and the chance to cast our glasses over the wonder shite customers gathered there. It was rammed stiff with the usual bourgeois vex and chellavex, peating their booze and smecking at their own Mersky jokes. So we told-chopped our way to the bar where a poster declaimed open mic night, and true enough, up steps this grim old vec, and in a high preaching type golos, tosses forth a poem called Crow's Fall. Well, hugging and mugging guffawed away, but I knew they hadn't poogled a word, this being poetry or not a punk warble. And Huggin had his Britva out and was full for reading the old poet there and then, all on his oddie-nocky. But I steadies him with a rook around his shoulders and says, "Wait, oh my droog, rein in your fine wild horses." Friday notchy is only Friday notchy with your Gulliver well addled, so we necked a few more fire goals and waited for the old roar in the mosque, the pricking of knives in one's hookahs. "Who's the shoomy old poet?" I asked the barmaid. "Him," she says, "that's Ted Hughes." And true enough, there he sat, bourgeois hair flapping in the winter wind that blew in under the door of the bar like the very rook of bog. "Good news, my droogs, great wondrous news. We're going to schlagnick old Ted Hughes for using us as bolshy news." I rhymed it as an ironical gesture, but this was lost on Huggin and Muggin who were a malinky drunk and burping, chunking at dropped chips left on the carpet. So I takes them one in each rook and leads them out the bar and down the street after the old poet. Our clock was scraping on the cobbles as we went. Muggin starts up with a grompy punk warble by the old maestro, Marky Smith, punk crow poet of my soul, and we all join in, Yazik's hanging out for all to viddy. "What's a computer?" he creeched. Huggin and I would join in. "Eat yourself, fitter!" A sinister ditty for a dark notchy, you must agree. And oh, lovely music and sweet maloko raining pictures of the ultraviolence to come into my tender rassaduke, as we saw Sad Hughes pause with his rooks rifle in his pockets for some pretty polly or a book, him being a mighty word vec, so that when he looked up we were all ranged around him in a circle, wings outstretched, and the big old lunar shining down on our merry enterprise as Ted Hughes turned his sorry red lips over upon us. To be fair to poor Ted, he didn't run but smiled, with his big Gulliver turned to the side, despite the toll-chocking he was about to receive and the breakfast we held in our rooks. "I should have known," he said. "Krow, crow, crow," flying the black flag of himself. Well, Huggins stepped in, stabbed his clue for Hughes's eye, and the poet let him, its spongy mess plisking off feathers, as Huggin howled in sheer radisty. Muggin creeched, "One-eyed Odin," and specked until the tears ran down from his glasses. But the poet seemed fine with all his bazoony behaviour and spoke again. "To hatch a crow, a black rainbow, bent in empty nests." Well, maybe it was the maloko, but all these words was doing something funny to my ticker-tocker, so I stopped Muggin him from taking his Britva to Ted's Gorlo and scavatted the poet to one side. "Say something else," I said. "Tell us, who are we? What do we want? Tell us." "Begat by broken clocks and hissing from cracks in the coal face. Begat by the broken bones of Treblinka's ovens and spat from the sky by the sun's scorched breath. Fake silhouettes croaking a twisted rope of song from nests in high branches. Rooftop and telephone line dictators, monochrome magicians with an eye for the dead and almost dead, death's left hand, almost man." Oh, Ted Hughes, Ted Hughes! New punk poet of my soul, and not such an arsehole as what I once thought. Glazzy weeping down his cheek, I knelt on one knee and lifted my wings around him, till all was dark as dark can be. And I felt all brother bloody with him, all my crovvy is your crovvy till the end of time. all mixed one with other, man and crow, a real clockwork horror show.